Out of the gates and on the air. Welcome in to another edition of Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors as we'll get you an update on the Seahawks quarterback battle. Also, a former Seahawk has officially retired from the National Football League. We'll tell you who that is in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, we appreciate that you guys helped us get to 28,000 subscribers on the channel. But this week, we take on a new battle this week. We go up against the Cowboys report. Tom Downey, friend of the show, is our frenemy this week as we are battling them in new subscribers. We have 288 new subscribers this week. They have 404 new subscribers this week. Can't let that happen. Got to beat Cowboys report in subs this week. Subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Turn on notifications as well so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today. Geno Smith has been told by Pete Carroll that he will start Friday against the Dallas Cowboys. That's what Pete Carroll said earlier today on Seattle Sports Radio 710. But according to Pete Carroll, we will see Drew Lock play a lot. Now, one of the things that Pete Carroll went on to say was he feels like that they have two number ones at quarterback. As the saying goes, if you have two starting quarterbacks, you have no starting quarterback. So with that, as things stand right now, in the quarterback situation with Geno Smith starting, Drew Lock going to play most of that game, we don't really have any definite answers yet. This is still the waiting game that we're all just trying to figure out where this thing goes from here. I think that Friday night is going to be crucially important, but at the flip side too, even with as important as Friday is, I still feel like this hasn't necessarily been a fair competition. We've seen throughout this whole ordeal that Geno Smith has gotten the vast majority of the first-team reps. And even Friday night on a game that Drew Lock is going to play the majority of, first game back from COVID, it's still Geno Smith that starts with the first-team offense. So, with that, who wins the job? Is it Drew Lock? Is it Geno Smith? It's our pinned comment today. And I want to know from you guys, how does this play out? It seems like everything is set up for Geno Smith here. Does he capitalize and get the job done, or will Drew Lock go lights out against the Dallas Cowboys and win this job? Let me know. Type DL for Drew Lock. Type GS for Geno Smith. Who wins the job for the Dallas Cowboys, for the Seahawks? So, we've heard from Pete Carroll. He says that there is no deadline to name a starter. And this is a change, of course, from even before Drew Lock had COVID. The idea was that they wanted to have their starter figured out after that final preseason game. And so here's something to think about. The important dates to know for the Seahawks. There's 16 days and at least 9 practices from the date you see first on your screen, August 26th on a Friday, compared to the season opener on September 12th. So there's still a lot of time in between. The roster is going to get cut down on Monday, August 29th from 80 to 53. And then from there, we'll see how long they take to name an official starter. But even with the preseason wrapping up, there's still a lot of time to go. Now, the national media has weighed in on the quarterback situation with the Seahawks. Adam Schein of CBS Sports had some not-so-kind words to say about the situation. A bit of a hot take, saying this is the most embarrassing, saddest, pathetic quarterback competition of all time between Drew Lock and Geno Smith. The Seahawks are a disaster, and this is where hope goes to die. Look, Adam is obviously wrong here. There is a plan for the Seahawks in place. You have to dig a little bit to see it, but Pete Carroll, John Schneider and company, they know what they're doing here. Look, here's what the rebuild formula is. This is what the Seahawks are going through. You don't have to go very far back to last year's draft. And a reminder, there was no elite quarterbacks in the draft, right? The Seahawks had the number 9 pick, but there was not an obvious answer. You weren't going to use that on Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis. And so the Seahawks did what they did, retooling the offensive line with Charles Cross, bringing in Abraham Lucas. We know the offensive line needed work. And here's where the Seahawks were smart about this. Look, when it comes to on the field, beyond the quarterback position, the offensive tackle spot, left tackle in particular, is the second most important position on the field. They did that with Cross, and they got younger everywhere. Sure, it wasn't easy saying goodbye to Bobby Wagner and some of your favorite Seattle Seahawks stars. But what they did when it comes to this rebuild, they got younger everywhere. They established that foundation, 9 picks in this year's draft to get younger and build for their future beyond this year. And then, yes, you didn't find a quarterback in this year's draft. But now it's a situation where you got to see what you have in Drew Lock and in Geno Smith, right? Where are you at with both these guys at this point in 2022? This is a situation with both guys where at the end of the day, the long run, it doesn't hurt you here. Neither one of them are costing you a whole lot. Drew Lock was a guy that we heard from Pete Carroll that he said, look, he's somebody that we believe in better than any of these quarterbacks in last year's draft. Sure, I would have liked to see maybe Baker Mayfield come along of maybe a move like that, but ultimately they did what they felt that was best for them financially. It's not going to cost them a whole lot, and it positions themselves to draft a quarterback in 2023. And I think it's going to be an early round quarterback in that first round with one of those first picks that Seattle has, and this is what they'll do going forward. They've retooled the offensive line. They've gotten younger everywhere. They're going to see what they have in Smith and Locke, and then they'll draft a quarterback next year and go from there. That's the plan that Pete Carroll and John Schneider have put in place. Will it work? That remains to be seen. But I got to tell you, I trust the plan personally. What say you? Do you trust the plan that's been put in place by Pete Carroll and John Schneider to rebuild this franchise and to move forward from here? Let me know in the comment section. Type Y for yes, type in for no, if you trust in the plan that Pete Carroll and John Schneider have put in place. Y for yes, in for no, if you trust that plan going forward. Today's show is brought to you by BetUS. And BetUS, folks, is offering a great deal for Seahawks Today viewers. If you use the promo code Seahawks125 at checkout, they are going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. So you may be asking, well, Tyler, what does that mean? Well, what that means, folks, is that if you put $100 down, they're going to give you $125 to spend for free. It's a great deal available now to viewers of Seahawks Today with the promo code Seahawks125. Go to chatsports.com/bet to play now. That's chatsports.com/bet for your 125% deposit bonus with promo code Seahawks125. Former Seahawk Shaquem Griffin officially announced his retirement from the National Football League today. And one of the better stories I felt in all of the NFL the last several years was Shaquem Griffin making it to the NFL. Griffin had his leg amputated at age 4, his arm, and he dealt with a condition, became the first player with one hand to be drafted in the NFL's modern era with the Seattle Seahawks when they chose him in the 5th round in 2018. It reunited him with his twin brother Shaquille, and then the Seahawks, at the time, their starting left corner. You go back to what he did, drafted in 2018, the 5th round, played for the Seahawks from 2018 to 2020. The numbers weren't anything fantastic, 25 tackles, 1 sack in his NFL career, but the story to get there for his, with all the obstacles in front of him, to have the career he did was outstanding. It was a great story, and to play alongside his brother. We'll tell you what Shaquem Griffin had to say on his retirement in just one moment. Before we do, I want to make sure you are subscribed to Seahawks Today. We're doing watch parties, live shows, breaking news, and more right here on the channel each and every day. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment. It's youtube.com/Seahawks TV. And coming up on Friday night, 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific, We'll do a live watch party for the Seahawks matchup against the Dallas Cowboys right here on the channel on Seahawks Today. You will not want to miss it. We'll be having a few cold ones, and myself, Marshall Green's going to be with me. It is going to be a can't-miss moment, folks. We'll do pregame about 15 minutes before kickoff. Game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. Have postgame reaction, react to your mailbag questions as well. Be there or be square. It's the Seahawks Today watch party beginning at 7:45 Eastern, 4:45 Pacific this Friday here on Seahawks Today. I love Shaquem's story. I mean, there will never be anything like the story of Shaquem Griffin. I mean, I think of back to the 2018 NFL Draft Combine after his undefeated season at UCF when they won the Peach Bowl and, they declared themselves national champions and all that, and he put the 20 reps in at the Combine. I mean, unheard of. Unbelievable. Here's what Griffin told the Players Tribune. There's this thing we used to always say in Seattle. Be where your feet are. It basically means to stay in the present and control what you can control. And after talking with my brother, I realize it doesn't matter what people think about me at all. The only thing that matters is how I respond to yet another obstacle in what I choose to do. I choose to work. I worked out for the Cardinals, the Titans, and the Jets, and then I got calls from Buffalo, Dallas, and Atlanta. But after that Jets workout, I realized something. All this traveling around and working out for teams, trying to catch on somewhere, trying to hang on, it wasn't what I wanted. Football has already given me so much, and the only thing I really wanted from the game was to play with my brother again. So what a story there, Shaquem Griffin, from all that he went through, and also to play alongside his brother there, not only at UCF, but in Seattle as well. A great story. So with that, thank you for the memories, Shaquem Griffin. What are some of the things that you'll remember most about Shaquem Griffin and his NFL career? Let me know in the comment section what comes to mind when you think of Shaquem Griffin. One more note before we go. The Seahawks have signed rookie undrafted free agent Ronnie Rivers. They've also placed linebacker John Radigan on the PUP list for now, and Rivers comes over from the Arizona Cardinals. So we'll keep tabs on that to see where he ends up when it comes to possibly making this Seahawks roster, the 53-man roster. Appreciate you joining us here on Seahawks Today. As always, follow me on social media, facebook.com/Tyler Jones Live. I'm also available on Twitter and Instagram, at Tyler Jones Live on Twitter, Instagram, Tyler Jones Live. Easiest way to follow me there. Interact with me, DMs, everything in between. Certainly have a lot of fun there on social media. Follow me, and I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.